All right, just seeing if this live crap works. Not thrilled with the frame rate of the camera or much else, so maybe I'll work on that. Let's see what camera it is. This one. Okay. So I'll see if I can adjust the camera, all right, with some other tool and such. I wonder what end stream. Oh, okay, that ends this. All right. Is on turned on subscribers only mode. Well, that's yes, but you have to be subscribed for at least a minute. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's kind of funny. So here, what the hell? We'll try that. I don't know what this microphone thingy is. Doesn't work. Okay, that's cool. So I guess I won't bother with that. Testing. Yeah, you can almost make it move a little. I guess I can mute it. Okay, that's all I can do. And there's an arrow. I wonder what the arrow does. Does anybody know what the arrow does? I don't know. Send feedback. Oh, that's no use. I wonder what edit means. Don't know. All right. What I wanted to find out is if I could do a screen capture. You don't have access to this feature. I wonder what the feature is. You don't have access to this feature, whatever that feature is. All right. And I can do a manage. I don't know what that is. Oh, okay. I don't think the video is very good, frankly. That's a pretty pitiful frame rate. So I'm going to try. I'm going to mess around with it, just see if I can change it. What I'd like to do is just share the screen and then put my image on the shared screen, but I haven't figured out how to do that. Maybe you can't do it. All right, what am I looking for? I'm looking for this new thing. All right, let's see if I can fiddle with the camera effects from here. So let's see, this is, one of my cameras didn't work, so this camera isn't going to work either. Let's see if it is or isn't. All right, I want exposure manual mode. All right, so far so good. Now let's see if it'll adjust it. Here's not. Oh, there it did. Yeah, it did. Knocked it right out. Oh, okay, it's working. All right, that's better, right? Yeah, that's better frame rate. All right, so that workaround worked. I don't need all this gain. Yeah, that's better. The image is reversed, so I guess I will try to reverse the image back the other way. How do I, Google does that? I'm turning, I keep turning the wrong way because it's completely not my usual setup. Let's see if Advanced does this. All right, LED mode. No, I don't need to change the LED, thank you. Capture, can't mess with that, I don't think. Resolution, frames per second. I can't really mess with that. I know that's a disaster if I try that. All right, saturation, sharpness. Nope, none of those are going to help me. Doesn't appear as though I can flip the image from here. Oh well, can't have everything. I really thought I could, but yeah, there really aren't any. I don't see any feature that allows for that. Damn, it seems like a fundamental thing, flipping the image. I mean, shit, it should be on the list of things you can do. Fuck. Anyway. Well, I'll just have to get used to it for now. Oh, I know. I could add a filter. Yeah, okay. All right, I remember. All right, yeah, I got to write some JavaScript, and then I'll inject it into the page, and I will reverse the video that way. Okay, so I have to make a modification. Anyway, so I'll get to that someday. Oh, it's a master pool guy. Yeah, I remember I mean, your your life sucks. So it's quite depressing. I know, it's just life is so mean and cruel. Anyway, so sorry about your wife, right, and all that kind of crap, and yuck. So yeah. Anyway, well, sorry. I can always delete this video if you prefer. Well, they're public videos you make, right? Yeah. So it's okay for me to mention that. I believe that's okay. So anyway, at least one person got in here, so that's interesting. There's somebody here. So I still think they ought to have some way for me to share my screen. I really thought that would be a feature by now. What the hell? They have like a little Wi-Fi symbol over here, but it says you don't have access to this feature. But it doesn't tell you what the feature is. Let me press it, see what it is. It's yeah, I don't have access to it. I don't have access to the camera, and I don't have access to manage. So I don't know what that is. Shit. So I don't know what the edit button is. So if somebody knows what the edit button is, let me know. Well, if there is somebody. It might not be anybody. Yeah, so they're not going to be able to help there. Don't really need any of this crap. And such. All right. So, there's 5 people here. Wow, 7 people. Boy, you really have no lives. Anyway, yeah, sorry. It's just a test video. So I'm probably not going to do anything fascinating or interesting. My battery on my cigarette is a bit dead. But, I should have fixed that ahead of time. So if you do want to comment, you just have to subscribe for, a minute. Yeah. But I like that. It's such a typically YouTube-y kind of feature. Yeah, force people to subscribe. And then when you get enough people watching, then you can force them to donate $1. The internet is such a shithole. This battery works. No. Okay, so far so bad. Try this one. I recharge my cigarette batteries with have solar panels, and so when it's not very sunny, I don't get all my batteries recharged, and it wasn't very sunny lately. I can hear something, so maybe it just needs some extra fluid. Well, that's better. Much better. All right. So, guess there's nobody in the mood. But I'll stay for a half an hour or so. See what happens. Practice this anyway. Maybe I'll do it more often. I really hate going back to live videos. It's kind of a concession to the shitternet. But in some respects, right? I mean, you make videos on a subject. If people want to comment, they should be able to just comment. You can respond to the comments. What do you need this live crap for? I mean, what purpose does it really serve? I don't watch any live videos. Well, let's say I don't watch them live on purpose. I never, I'll watch a video that somebody made live just because you want to hear what they had to say. But, I don't watch it when it's live. And it's sometimes more convenient because these live videos usually kind of suck in terms of, content dry. And so you can play them at twice the speed or something. And, if you watch it later, then just get through all this inane nothing that happens in a live video. you can skip all the wasted time parts. So that's very good. I really hate that I can't flip this video. It's just, yeah. I pointed the wrong way. It's just wrong. I'm a right to left person, not a left to right person. Hate it. So I really have to work on a little flip the video code. But YouTube probably has some catch built in where it just keeps reversing the video. So even if I reverse the video, put a piece of code in, reverse the video, they probably have some jackass code that keeps re-updating the camera information. I'll just keep flipping it back on me. But whatever. Let's see. Chat policy. Oh, chat publicly. Okay. As DraftScience. Well, yeah, that's my screen name. Why would I chat as something else? Who knows? All right, so 10 people listening. So come on, people. You can ask a question or do something, can't you? You only have to be subscribed for 1 minute. So go subscribe if you think you might want to comment. You just subscribe for a minute, and then you can unsubscribe when you're done. The whiteboard is showing on your left side. That's what I'm saying. It's over here. I like it better, okay, when it's pointed the other way. Yeah, I like it better on the right side. Looks better. It works for me looking at the screen. See, when I look at the screen, I'm not looking at you. Well, I guess that would be true either way. It still looks like I'm looking at you when I look at the screen more when it's right to left than left to right. But maybe that's just my brain. Probably just my brain. See, I probably could draw. So I could draw in this. I can do a little live video and draw stuff. Yeah, that would be good. Maybe I'll just draw drawings. But we'll see. I guess I don't know whether I'm going to do this as a thing or not, because part of me just doesn't like it. The sound quality isn't as good in the video, and the image quality isn't as good. It's it's a lot of downsides to doing this live shit. Let's see. I try cutting my own hair using mirrors. Not easy. I obviously don't bother, so it makes it a lot easier. I've never cut my hair really. I used to cut my bangs, just because I have a giant forehead, so I'd have bangs, because I thought it looked a little better. And then I got old and I didn't give a shit anymore. But I never cut my hair. I mean, I've never cut my hair, since I was like 15. It just falls out, gets a certain length and it just falls out. It tangles fairly easy, I have to say, so it's inevitable that it just gets pulled out, actually. But whatever. I mean, it's amazing I still have it, so not complaining. I had a boil on my back once, and it's really hard to do anything backwards, and I had to smash it against the corner of a door. It's just a terrible pain in the ass. Can't see what you're doing. Can't get your hands back there. It is funny that a whole side of us is inaccessible. It's like other animals seem to be able to, reach any part of themselves, but not us. It's not working again. Come on. My nicotine. It's a terrible waste of time. I spend so much time trying to get this thing to work right. Because I'm too... I had a thing that was all kind of convenient, with batteries, and it worked, and blah, 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 but it broke. So Now I just put pieces together, and I mean, I'm using a metal ball because the button broke. Well, it didn't even broke. It was just broken in this stupid way. It's like a magnet with a spring and this and that. It's not that complicated, but it would keep leaking voltage, and the thing would get like to 900 degrees, and it was just that wasn't any good. And now there's still some kind of short in the damn thing. Yeah, see, it was working just a minute ago, and now it's not. Lodge view. Yeah, I don't know who you is. Don't recognize the name or whatever the green slop is you have as an icon. Sorry, don't recognize it. Come on, this has got to work. All right, 12. Yeah, well, we're zooming right along. God, the internet is so much more difficult than it was in the old days. I mean, you think about all the audience you squandered back when you still could get an audience. And now, you barely ever get a new viewer. There's just no links to anything anymore. It's just all, if you're not promoted by YouTube, you might as well not make videos. Which sucks, but it's the internet. So I'll just, deal with it the way it is. Yeah, I sort of sometimes do miss the idea that, why couldn't they, YouTube had it, a replacement for it, but I guess they just never wanted to get into the huge bandwidth waste. But, you have those other places now that people are going, like StreamYard, and that's got to be a threat to YouTube. They got to figure that's a threat. I don't know why they don't create some sort of simple mechanism, especially when, in my opinion, like there could be one person who's doing most of the talking and the other people could pop in. And if you only did their high resolution video when they were actually talking, and otherwise, their video resolution would be really low, like 2 frames a second or something, I can see how this could work pretty well, and you wouldn't have this huge bandwidth issue. But it just sucks that YouTube's just squandered that whole idea of, and even the browser, the Firefox for a while, you could actually, do the B2B thing. You could connect to somebody else. You could both connect to the same server location and do a Skype thing through the browser. And, they obviously broke that because, you'd have to have some third party, that's just allowing the two internet connections to bang into each other. But none of this stuff, to think that, 15 years later, we have less choices, not more choices. That's sort of a surprise. Like you wouldn't have anticipated the internet would degrade in that way. That we actually had more innovation and choices and ways to do this interacting 15 years ago than we have now. It's pretty pitiful. All right, there, Lodge View. Sorry, I don't, I'm really bad at names, so maybe I have seen your name and I just don't remember it. So I didn't mean any offense. I was just being casual and sloppy, which I do, I'm very good at casual and sloppy, but, no offense meant. So there's something, okay, so on my Yule CS. Ugh. Yeah, so that's a subscriber. I'd rather wasn't 12 years old or 15 or whatever he is. So, jeez, stinking poop head. Yeah, he's just such a nitpicker. Have you in any way, Mayul CS, have you ever in any way caught on that my arguments are getting better and better and that no one is posting anything like a counter argument? Like nothing. They can't send a link. They can't compose an argument. They can't, nothing. Absolutely nothing. You do understand that your side is now producing nothing as an argument. I mean, you've got to, like, if you were a betting man, you've got to be saying, yeah, Gary's looking like a better bet now than, 4 years ago or 3 years ago. I mean, it's, you got to be saying to yourself a little bit, you got to be saying, you know what, he probably is actually right. And physics was just done really bad. It's just really sloppy science. You've got to be thinking it. Fuck. Damn battery. I don't want to go fetch more batteries. See, I have a bunch of old batteries. And the neat trick is you can, they were all batteries that got overcharged. And so there's this little gimmick you can do, where you can stick a little, a hard piece of metal, or, there's probably different ways you can do it. See, some people say you can just push this end down. So you stick this thing inside the positive end of the lithium battery, and you just push the little safety device back because the battery got overpressurized. So there's a whole bunch of pressurized fluid in it. And the real trick is you really have to break the seal. Like, you have to poke at it enough to get it to leak a little bit. And then you get your full charge back. All of a sudden you have a lithium battery that has 4 volts, and you can recharge it again and all that crap. Now, obviously, you're defeating the safety. But see, this was a completely dead battery. If I put it on a scale, well, it wasn't completely dead. It would say something like 0.23 volts or something. And, and all I did was push the little fucking thing down inside there. And now it's a fully charged battery. All right. So Mayul says, I enjoy your channels as much as I may disagree with certain things. Well, it doesn't really address the point. My argument is you did all this support for these naysaying, nitpicking fucktards. I would just like you to concede that my arguments are getting better and better, and their shitty ad hominem mush is getting dumber and dumber. So I just like you to concede you're kind of losing the argument over time here. That you might be a little bit humbled by how bad your side is doing, okay, compared to how good I'm doing in terms of making coherent, factual, rational, logical arguments. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, don't blow yourself up, but, I had 30 dead batteries. I thought they were dead. They're, these lithium batteries. I mean, they cost a few bucks to replace one. And now I have 28 batteries that work, so it's a huge, boom for my life. The only, catch is recharging, and you have to sometimes see if you don't really get them to leak, then they can repressurize and the seal pops again and the battery stops working again. So you have to redo it. So if you make them leak, though, they seem to be permanently fixed. But what that probably means is you've permanently defeated the little safety feature that stops them from overheating. So you just have to be a little careful about recharging them. Just watch it. Make sure you don't recharge them on a big ball of cotton or something. Yeah, I just didn't think there was any way to recover lithium batteries, and there is. Yeah, it's pretty simple. But it's a little complicated because it's hard to get it's hard to find the right tool to get inside of that there's little tiny vent holes. You'll see them in the top. So you have to stick something in the little vent hole and then push down. And like I said, if you pop it, then you'll hear a hiss and a little bit of this clear, smelly fluid will pop out. Who knows what that is, right? I gotta collect the fluid. It's probably, some kind of super toxin. That was good. No, we're up to 14. I'm surprised. I really didn't think, I mean, I'm just showing up after years of not doing live rooms. I didn't figure anybody would be here. So appreciate that there's somebody to talk to, because I really had no agenda. I just hit the button. I said, okay, let's just try it, see if it works still. And I have to admit, though, at least YouTube made the interface kind of simple. Now, I could do the streaming thing, where I, put the backgrounds in and all that crap. But I really thought I could share the screen, and I just thought that would be so much easier. So again, if anybody knows, can you share the screen when you do a webcam video? I guess you really can't, because that would really be a nice feature. Because then I could add other stuff. Really easy. It's easy to put stuff on the screen. But we'll see. But this, frame rate's better. But maybe what I'll try the next time is I'll try dropping the resolution a little and upping the frame rate. But the fact that I can change the properties of the camera in Linux is cool. All right. Screencast is there. Okay. Where the fuck is it? Yeah. I just don't see it. So let me try full screen and see if there's more features I'm missing. All right. I don't see anything over there. The live chat just has chat crap. Yeah, pop-out chat, timestamps. Let me try the pop-out chat. Well, that's sort of annoying, though. Well, it might be hiding the screencast button, right? There's a little arrow here. Does anybody know what the little arrow at the bottom does? All right. Okay, nice. All right, let's see. I believe I have seen people use StreamYard. Yeah, that's it. Right, or OBS. Right, I can do that. I just don't know if I want to bother with all that crap. All right, screencast is there. So Masterpole still says it's there. Yeah, I use OBS, but I also, because it's Linux, I can use a simple screen recorder. I can use lots of other ways to, have more interactive stuff. But I just mean if you could share the screen, I'm just saying I can share my desktop, and then I can, put my webcam on, and I can have my browser window open, which might be convenient, besides just doing the board thing. You have a Chromebook. See, that's the thing. Yeah, so maybe I have to use Chrome. See, the catch is YouTube won't let me sign in to my Inmendum account in Firefox without me giving them a mobile number that I don't have. See, I don't have a mobile phone. And so that I can't sign in using Firefox. So I have to use Google Chrome to sign into the Amendum account. Now, the catch is I don't ever want to sign out of the Amendum account in Chrome, because who knows, they're going to ask me for a mobile number. So it's just getting so. There probably is going to be a point where I can't do YouTube anymore because I don't have a mobile phone. It's that. The whole thing is so disgusting. I mentioned it in my video. I mean, it really irritates me that I have really secure accounts where they don't have my phone number. Okay, they just don't have it, the company. And all I do is use my password to get into my account. And these are accounts where I have money deposited. Okay, I mean, these are accounts where my money's being secured. And they're comfortable with the email verification. They're comfortable with you having a password. And that's good enough. And I just don't know, all this fake security, that they're somehow doing it for me. They're not doing it for me. They're doing it to fuck me. Yeah. But anyway, I just hate that everybody puts up with this shit. Why do all these companies need your mobile number? So anyway, well, obviously we know why they need it. They need it because they're going to try to spam the fuck out of you. Ugh. All right, so I just don't see anything. See, what I have on my screen, if anybody knows about how this shit works, it has some stupid microphone thing with little dots. Then it has an arrow. that says end stream, and then there has a red button that says end stream. Now maybe the arrow is just pointing to the end stream. I don't know. That would be kind of silly. But I'm a little afraid to just hit the arrow, but it doesn't say what the arrow is. You mouse over it, doesn't tell you what it is. There's no little, idea of what it does. So I guess I could take the chance and hit the arrow, and we could see what happens. Shall we risk it? All right, let's be bold. All right, what did it do? Share live stream. Oh, I can share it. Isn't that special? How do you share it by email? You just send an email to people, I guess, saying, here's a live stream. All these accounts, right? All these fucking shitty Tumblr, Blogger, LinkedIn, Pinterest, OK. There's a place called OK. There's a place called Goo. Oh, I hate the internet. I just hate it so much. All right, so that's what that stupid arrow meant. Fuck that. I'm not sharing nothing. I'm not giving nothing. We'll have to pull it out of my cold, dead hands. Sharing nothing. Okay, so I'm still fucked in terms of this. Oh, there's a thing up here at the top, a little barry thing. Let's see what the little barry thing does. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, cool. Well, that was really useful. Thanks, YouTube. What a great feature. No, seriously, you hit the three little barry thing. Collapse menu, it says. It doesn't collapse anything. It just makes the little icons bigger or smaller, but it doesn't change anything. The same icons. It adds the word stream, webcam, manage, and these are all features I can't access, whatever that means. I don't have access to this feature for whatever dumbass reason. Oh, that's so hilarious. It does nothing. All right. So anyway, 16 people now. Okay, so just letting you know, you only have to subscribe for 1 minute, okay, to chat if you wish to say something. So you can always unsubscribe. So just in case you have some urgent thing to say and you feel all disappointed that it's only subscribers, you only have to subscribe for 1 minute. Not a big deal. Let's see. The notifications for this live stream said it was scheduled for future. Surprised that you were here live. Huh, that's funny. Yeah, I know. I mean, I just left the date. What they had the date 5 minutes before, right? So I mean, I pressed the button and then they set the date, and it was for 5 minutes ago. And I said, fine, okay, yeah, that's good. I can go back in time and start my video. But yeah, I don't know what it does. The interface is, it is, I have to say, it's simple enough to use now where, there isn't as complicated as it used to be. But, yeah, I don't think I'll be scheduling. So it's just going to have to be potluck when I feel like it. So, anyway. So, anybody have there's a big comment. Look at that one. Whew. Have you heard of Malcolm? No, I haven't heard of any of this. Fuck, I don't give a fuck about anybody. Why the hell would I hear about this? And Malcolm and Simone. No, they are whatever that is, natalists who are reproducing in order to save civilization. Well, obviously they're nuts. But what's the difference? There's lots of racist, people who think they're going to win the race war, so they have 29 kids. There's lots of people just vain egos that think their kids are going to be so much special or better than everybody else's kids. Who cares? And are also eugenicists. Well, there you go. Okay. Who produce their children using embryo selection. I think everybody should, if they can, select. Okay. I mean, you have like genetic code that sucks. So yeah, if I could eliminate the chance of the kid having the negative genetic code that I carry, why not? So yeah, that just makes sense, I think. So in that sense, eugenics makes sense. But obviously the whole most of the eugenicists just want to get into a, I likes white people better kind of thing. It's not logical. It's just an emotional reaction to their, I'm sure cats and all kinds of animals have the same, look at how cats come out. They come out so different. So I'm sure, well, I remember this actually happened in real life with feral cats. So I used to feed cats. So there was one cat that was one of those really long-haired Angora style type cat. And so he had like 3 or 4 inch hair. And every winter he was a mess. Because he'd get all tangled and messed up, and he just looked like he was near death. His fur would get so bad. Well, anyway, he never had a friend. Never communicated, never talked to other cats or hung around. You know what I mean? He wasn't friendly. And then one night he brings another cat with him to the food dish. And it's a cat that's exactly the same kind of cat, with long hair, all that crap, except it's really well manicured. So it was obviously some domestic cat. Okay. But it was just so funny. Like, of all the cats he made a friend with, it's the fucking cat. It looks just like him. Can't be a coincidence, I don't think. So I think cats are also bigoted little shitheads. Anyway, what does that say? Oh, hello. Hulo. Well, I don't really speak Japanese or whatever that is. Anyway, let's see. I don't care about David Pierce. I don't care about anybody. Don't drop names in front of me because it's useless. Is a big proponent of genetically engineered embryos. He thinks biotechnology will eventually lead to suffering be abolished. Well, he's a retard. You can't abolish suffering because it's the only reason why we like doing anything. The underlying negative current that flows in us is the only thing that motivates you, whether you understand that or not. But that's how the game works. If you're comfortable all the time, you won't do a fucking thing. So anyway, I just don't think if you really think about your life, the only thing that gave you any character or any appreciation, made you anything decent, okay, was mostly your negative experiences. So abolish them, and then you might as well just forget about the eugenics because you already wiped out the best part of humanity. The best thing a human being can do is write a sad song. You know what I mean? What are the most beautiful pieces of music? They're poignantly sad or poignant. They're getting to some core piece of that loneliness and grief that exists inside of us. You destroy that, and then you really got nothing. Then we're just cockroaches. I'm clearly arguing that, we're cockroaches in suffering and listening to beautiful music. There's no point in being that either. I'm just saying you can't have it both. You can't fix the life game. It's just it's a game of addiction. It's moronic. You can't fix it. Just put it out of its misery. So anyway, this is the Draft Physics channel. It's just hint. So I don't know if I really want to do Life Sucks videos here. But I suppose if I'm going to, I would do them here. I guess it doesn't matter. The two subjects really don't mix very well, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I think. I'll have to think about that. For a future reference, I guess I'll label the video. I think I can title it before I post it, so I think I'll indicate that the subject should be narrowed to a specific line of conversation thing. But we'll see how it goes. So 40 minutes, that's not too bad. But yeah, it really wasn't so far. I mean, well, we did do the battery thing, like smoke. So it's not like the video was totally useless so far. But yeah, I'll probably have to have some kind of plan. Yeah, subject outline, kind of thing. Still at 16. So let's say we should be. It'd be fun if we could actually wager in these rooms. Where you could actually just put money in this. We could just check box our PayPal or something and say, yeah, let's wager some money. On bet on different things. That would make things a little more interesting. So let's see if my mute button works. All right, so you didn't hear any of that, right? Yeah, so somebody let me know. Did you just hear all of that? Personal stuff. Now somebody will post, yeah, I heard every bit. Yeah, but you have to tell me what it was. Or you're not really being honest. Yes, okay, so the mute works. Okay, I shouldn't have just trusted it, but I did. There was all kinds of, boy, I'd be ruined if you heard what went on. No, it really wasn't anything. One thing I think I will never do, okay, is like do one of these, whatever the account payment thing is with Google, and people do that stupid paid chat thing. Oh man, that seems so tacky. But anyway, yeah, so the betting thing would be interesting. So we could just make like, will I hit 20? So we're at 18. But, even that would get ruined, right? Because some stupid fuck would just open a new private window, re-enter the room, and, spoil the numbers anyway. It doesn't matter. You can't have any honest fun on this planet. So there's always these dishonest jackasses that fuck every game. But yes, they're just games, so you just play some other game. So I have to think of some other, thing to do while you're in a live room. I have to make a list. Something like that. I have to remember to look at the camera now and then. See if I could turn my screen, reverse the screen. Maybe that would work, because then I wouldn't. Anyway, I need to move the camera over there. That would be the sensible thing to do. And then I'll be looking at it when I'm looking at the screen. Yeah, PayPal still work. I don't know what that means, but yes. But yeah, it just seems to me all these people that do all that, it's like, some of these physics videos with 14 commercials in them. And you're just like, man, you're doing science and you have to do this. I mean, and they never do anything reasonable, like just say before their video, they could just say, look, this is the only way I can make these videos is, your generosity. So here's my PayPal. If you could throw me a few bucks now and then, I'd really appreciate it. They don't even try to do it that way. And all this Patreon crap, it's like, these are all like double negatives. It's like PayPal takes a cut, then Patreon takes a cut, YouTube takes a cut. Everybody's taking a cut. I mean, it's so inefficient. I mean, having one provider should be all you need. Not, you shouldn't have to go through all these channels and all these other people taking cuts. All right, let's see what this says. Channels that don't blast you with those ads are such a breath of fresh air. Yeah, well, like I said, people do use the ad blocker, but I certainly, when you use ad blocker, it does slow everything down. I mean, I have noticed that. So I have another computer. Well, there's another computer in the house, and it runs a lot slower because it has ad blocker on it. But whatever. That's probably a small price to pay. But yeah, like I've said before, I don't want to block the ads because I actually find it interesting to see what the hell's financing the internet, and the commercials are getting so tacky. They actually had mail order bride commercials on YouTube. And the girls look to be like 14. I mean, it was so bad. And you're just saying, I mean, how does, they're that desperate. And then there's all these get rich quick, commercials for all these gimmicks. And YouTube even had one where the idea of the get rich quick thing is to steal people's video content on YouTube and make money reselling it, to some podcast or something. I mean, it was a racket where people are actually stealing YouTube content. And you're just, it really is idiocracy. But yeah, it is not. The other thing too is I very rarely read comments on somebody else's videos, but obviously the opponents here, where the people ragging on me, they have whole threads of comments, hundreds of comments, doing their little raggy shit. And so every now and then I go to look at that stuff. And the funny part is YouTube plays the video. You hit the newest first button, and the video starts playing. So you're here in the middle of the comments section. You have to go back and turn the video off. I mean, it's just such, all the little games they play. And why does YouTube do that? Because the people buying the ads, now YouTube can charge them more because they got more impressions because you forced the video to play when somebody didn't hit the play button. I mean, it's just so tacky. All right. I had I don't know what that is, show up at my house, a sheriff. Ooh, that's nasty. From a video I posted of a sick cat. Yeah. Well, I've obviously had the whole SWAT thing happen. I've been swatted twice. Well, at least twice. I could say a third and fourth time the cop showed up might have also been swatting, but I didn't get enough details from the cops to know why exactly I was an issue. But yeah, it just sucks. So, there's so many things that I'd like to talk about, that have to do with personal references to stuff going on. And just because of the trolls on the internet, you really can't talk about anything anymore, anything personal, because they'll exploit the fuck out of it and use it as an excuse to post pictures of your house and do all this shit. And it's just kind of annoying that I actually have to sit here, because it just occurred to me to talk about something that happened and it's like, no, you can't talk about it because they'll abuse it. And it's just, damn, that sucks. I mean, it's just such a shitty, it's just, again, part of the game that's so diminished because of these 6 assholes. This 1% of the human population who just can't play by any kind of rational decency rules. And it's just like, yeah, if we could just annihilate that little fucking segment of humanity, human beings would look so much better. They would smell so much better. I mean, would just be so much cooler if it wasn't for that shitty 1%. Yeah, that's the real problem. A neighbor watching your channel. Yeah, that's just impossible. You really can't afford it. Because people are fucking crazy. He's a Trumper. This kind of thing. You can't dare have whoa, you have an opinion? You're not allowed to do that. Morbid atheist. Yay. I have intended to make you a private video, saying thanks. You just haven't done it yet. But I actually mentioned it tonight. And so it was something I was going to do. And instead, I did this stupid live room instead. Well, see, I made about 3 videos to other people regarding the simulation and the website, new website, and this and that. All this stuff that's supposed to be happening that never kind of ever gets finished. And so I made those videos earlier today, and it was like, yeah, I got these 2 other videos I have to make, and I just hadn't gotten to it. I'm really bad at being a friend or a nice person. I'm not that bad. I'm not an unnice person. I just mean I'm no good at the, like I've never sent a get well soon card to anybody. I've never done any of that shit. And, I really, it should be part of my living a civilized life agenda. And I just can't make it happen, though. I guess part of it just doesn't work for me that much, well-wishing. But anyway. But yes, thanks, Morbid Atheist. I really do appreciate your long friendship and all of that and such. That being said, though, I wonder what kind of loopy causes you're fighting for now. Anyway, we don't entirely agree. We're both very nice people concerned about the state of the world, but, we don't necessarily prescribe the same cure or medication. Oh, Australia's full of assholes. Yeah, sorry, it's just covered in asshole. No, lately I've just run into the Australian channels where people are just so full of shit. A couple of physics channels and, just dumbass all the way down. But, they did save Warbles on a lot from his pretty much doomy cancer. So, I felt good about that. I mean, I was a little worried for the fellow. I mean, Warbles is an asshole, but, he had pretty bad cancer and he did all right. I don't know if he's going to stay all right, but, he did all right. He survived the first attack fairly well. So, it's not really an Australian subject, but he is in Australia. So I guess technically, if you're going to talk about any American and say, well, I'm talking about America, because I'm talking about somebody who lives in America, it's not really paying proper respect to that kind of stuff, but whatever. When somebody says greetings from Australia, what are you supposed to say anyway? Who cares where you live, fuckhead? I don't care. Right. But anyway, I'll pretend I do. I figured you were a public defender, that's really in trouble. Also joined the U.S. Army Reserves. Yeah. Well, you really have to do something to make a living, so I understand why you would do that, but who the fuck knows what you're going to end up defending. Oh, probably an awful lot of guilty people. Anyway. No, deployed is horrible. Kuwait. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Oh, it's like the most despotic pile of shit country in the whole world. Oh, what a horrible place. Sorry. I mean, just full of, the most scummy of the scummiest landlords, on planet Earth. I mean, I guess places like Dubai are worse, but, ew, good luck. Yeah, just, I mean, there's so many ways you can get in trouble. Just stay out of trouble, fucker. I mean, it's really hard being an atheist in one of those places. Well, that's nice. It's nice that you have get a little bit of stability in your life and that stuff. And brought here. Oh, good. Yeah, it's going to be suck. I'm going to use the military experience to run for office. Yeah, well, that's the game. I mean, it does give you some credibility. That's, we need some of that. And yeah, I mean, look, public employment it's a good racket. Frankly, if I was going to give a kid advice, I'd be saying, yeah, take your civil service exam, get into the government, because frankly, there's all kinds of advancement opportunities because they're all idiots. So, and crooks. Yes, I don't know what exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, just the getting rid of the subsidies. There's so many things subsidized that shouldn't be subsidized. All these bad behaviors that are subsidized. So, if we quit subsidizing bad behavior, we could probably get rid of a lot of it. Yeah, well, the instant runoff is good, but we also have to get rid of the whole geographic problem because it just creates all that porky crap. And so, yeah, it's got to vote for policies, not people. So it's almost to a point where you almost want to say you want to vote for a AI package, so to speak. Like you want to vote for a mechanism that just implements policies, not a person. You just want to advocate for a list of ideas. Let's see, if it's kind of a complex subject, so I don't want to get too deep into it, because having a direct democracy is a good idea. The bad part is who writes the legislation that people vote on. So the whole problem with California and their initiatives is that an asshole writes the laws, the two things you're voting on, like the yes or the no point, and an asshole writes them. And so the laws are really stupid. So they're voting for a really stupid law or a really stupid law. And that's the part they got to fix. So if you can vote for a really, an AI written law, okay, something written well, then direct democracy could work. And then we could just, end this crap debate. We should just, as a nation, be able to vote on like a abortion. And so there should be some well-articulated point about how, well, look, it's in the woman's body. It's really her body and her property and her bloodstream and her tissue. And the baby really doesn't have any right to steal it. And it really is a parasite. And you really can't impose all this religious jargon on people. They don't have to believe it has a soul. And they don't have to believe all this other crap. So let's just have a rational perspective and just concede that, yes, you might think abortion is ugly, too fucking bad, because you don't have a rational argument to oppose it. All you have is it makes me feel icky. Yeah, so what? That's not a good enough argument. Anyway, there's a theoretical political system called, and it has a name that's similar to what you're describing. It involves using production markets to determine policy. Oh, fuck that. Markets are never a good thing. Oh, but whatever. Okay, fine. It's similar. I'm doubting it, but whatever. Okay, fine. Yeah, I remember sorry about your father. Got stiffed out of a couple of months. He hadn't smoked for the last 20 years. Yeah, well, that's the thing. You know, smoking is just such a fucking, who knows? It's like, obviously, I think some people have a sort of genetic immunity to, you know, they're not as vulnerable, so maybe they were like in the caveman days, their people were inhaling a whole bunch of fireplace smoke or something. So they have a little more durability. I don't know what the catch is. And then some people, 4 cigarettes and, they got cancer. So it's really, but yeah, I feel uncomfortable, that I smoke so heavy for so many years, because I'm getting of that age where it's going to show up, It's just like, ooh, creepy, but whatever, It is what it is. Tragedies are all over the place. Yeah, well, I mean, men usually don't get cancer from anything else, right? Women do. I mean, it's weird. Women do get cancer without ever smoking. But men, they usually have to work, in some kind of really dirty place. Farmers get lung cancer a lot, because they inhale a lot of heavy elements, and the dirt gets in their lungs. It's radioactive, and it gives them cancer. It's a really tricky business. Just occurred, there's, some stuff is like, science is really interesting, and some subjects that are just so deep, and there's a certain depth to the whole immunology kind of bullshit and figuring out why exactly you get cancers and all that kind of stuff. So it's probably more subject than is worth me throwing out, bullshit in a live room. So maybe I won't go there, but yeah, it's this whole it's all this ionizing thing. So it's sort of a physics subject, because really all it's about is you create these stupid ions, and the ions are essentially free radicals in the sense they're looking for oxygen molecules to connect to. And so that's why they have that whole idea of antioxidants being a good thing and all of that kind of crap, because you're trying to get the oxygen in the right places, but you never want it in the wrong places. And you certainly don't want it combining with anything. So it's like rust on iron. I mean, the real game is if you want to keep the iron in good shape, you want to keep it from rusting. And the same sort of thing is happening to us inside, is that you don't want cells rusting, so to speak. You don't want them oxidizing. And they'll oxidize if they get ionized. So if they if they get an electron knocked off of them, then they're going to stick to something. And you don't want them to stick to those nasty little oxygen molecules. It's funny that we need the oxygen to survive. We need the plants to produce it. But in many ways, oxygen is a poison. I mean, it's a very reactive substance. Yeah, well, you did come from there. Yeah, no, Chernobyl's, you didn't have to, you didn't have to be right next to it to get irradiated. You could be, 800-900 miles away, and just depending on how the wind blew, you got a pretty good dose. So it's really ugly. Creepy. Deek. So yeah, I'm sorry. It just, the whole dying thing. There's just never a good time or way to do it. It just sucks. The whole thing of snakelessness came up. Somebody actually mentioned a comment. What do you think? He's going to be dead any minute now. Not really, but I mean, he really wanted to die, and he figured out it's not that easy. It's not that easy. You think about, well, I just take a really sharp thing, and it just, I run into the wall, and the knife goes in, and I'm done. But it just isn't that easy. It's hard to do. Anyway, also, the hospital called and asked if I'd agree to make him comfortable when chemo failed and he was losing it. Yeah, well, that's, sort of the. I wish they didn't have to dance around it. I mean, there's a time when it's basically time to give somebody the morphine overdose and just quit playing games. Even though it was still illegal in New York. Yeah, well, I mean, all that's been going on for a long time where, if you're lucky to have the right doctor, okay, you get a graceful exit. And if you have the wrong doctor, yeah, you get, tortured forever. Frankly, that's how I look at it. I mean, obviously, it should always be the patient's choice. So they should be saying ahead of time, yeah, just don't go crazy, okay? When I'm done, I'm done. Okay. So, don't rescue me, please. If I fall asleep, find a way so I don't wake up. The other grade 8 experiment was 0 cancer. Well, I don't think that's anywhere close to true. They don't live long enough to experience cancer, okay? They only get to 40 years old. Understand, we're living way past our, best years. We are degrading substantially more. All right. It's like mice even, mice live like 3 years. Okay. So, but they do age much faster than we do. I mean, they have a much more accelerated aging process. Their hair goes gray, all that kind of stuff happens to them much faster. So I just mean, it's a tricky little balance, but I mean, cancer is partly to do with age. And the fact is it takes 20 years for the lung cancer, the little bits of radiation you get in your lungs. It takes a long time for it to start ionizing your tissues and causing the cancer. Anyway, well, it takes a long time because it's a roll of the dice and it's the rare event that the cell goes cancerous. So it only happens, you could ionize the cell 1,000,000 times, or ionize of the chemical in the cell. Or you could, break the little piece on the genetic code. You could hit it 1,000,000 times, but it's only one time that it turns into cancer. So, it takes time to make cancers usually. Now, obviously, in some cases, it happens really fast, but I'm just saying, generally speaking, it takes a lot of time. A lot more cancer happens late than happens early. Okay, so now you're typing too much crap. Yeah, so I have to read all this shit. I don't want to do that. So my grandmother had pancreatic. My father had lung cancer, and I wonder what I'm going to get. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, pancreatic is nasty, but I don't know enough about that one to have any hope of explaining why people get pancreatic cancer. All right. Cancer is predominantly caused by extrinsic factors. Clearly, the susceptibility, people have a different susceptibility. Some people are more susceptible to the process of converting a cell from a normal cell to a cancer cell. So that's what I'm arguing, is that some people have a genetic resistance to that process taking place. And other people have exactly the opposite genetic disposition where it's almost inevitable. Like Christina Applegate, she's carrying this really nasty genetic code, okay, which means you're going to die of breast cancer. And it's funny that she had a kid and it happened to be a daughter because, frankly, she pretty much, is saying fuck you to her daughter. You're going to have to go through the same nonsense, which is kind of cruel. But I mean, it's kind of, well, I'm just saying it's just part of the ugliness of life that somebody can be quite perfect in so many ways and then just have this little tiny genetic defect that's just really catastrophic. Whatever all that is. Anyway, not a great subject, frankly, but yes, it's part of life, and it's no fun, watching. Like I said, the whole warbles thing did bother me. Okay, just because we're sort of from the same class. We've grown up on the internet together, whatever this is that's gone on for a number of years. It's like the modern mystic. I have an attachment to him that I just can't get rid of. And if something happens to him, it's just going to bother me. And so, yeah, that's all. So it's just I have a certain hypersensitivity to this subject lately, just because, it's right there in your face. I mean, I was lucky my parents didn't have any, they didn't die of anything but old age. So that was sort of a lot easier to take than some long, protracted, harsh, brutal, agonizing death thing. But my sister, one of my sisters died, when she was 33, I think, and that was brutal. But you have some distance from it. But none of it's easy. I can't remember my cat, without kind of getting depressed and sad and just disinterested in living. It's all too cruel and too stupid. Did we hit 20? No, we still haven't hit 20. So that's kind of funny that, you just get to the peak. I peak it, so I guess my peak is going to be 17. That's going to be my meme number. Kind of pathetic, really. I mean, I think I've been online for 20 years now on YouTube. 20 years. I think it's 20 years. And I haven't mastered the medium. It's a tough audience. The James Webb discoveries are just, forget it. It's a little tiny bit better resolution than the Hubble, right? It's not all that. So, and they just make this shit up. Okay, they're looking at shit that's 13 billion years old. The light is 13 billion years old. And they're trying to explain. And just, what's the point? They don't have enough theory to go with any of this stuff, to really say anything about how big something can be or how small it has to be or any of that crap. And they really still can't tell they really can't tell how far away something is, because they're just guessing based on some, idea about how bright it is, but they really don't have any way of knowing. Anyway, just so much was just so hypey. Now I'll admit, I didn't think the thing was going to work. I didn't think there was any chance that piece of flimsy shit was going to work. So the fact that they did actually get it to work, okay, I have to give them credit. But they spent $10 billion on it. So that if it didn't work, it would be insane, to spend all that money and the fucking thing didn't work. So, no. But I was not very impressed. And again, I'll just say, why don't they do the Eddington experiment with it? Why don't they just point the fucking thing at a heavy planet, and show us light being bent by gravity? Anyway, they're trying to detect oxygen levels from exoplanets now. Yeah, well, look, all the spectral stuff is okay. Some of it makes sense, but the whole idea that it makes any fucking difference, whether there's oxygen, they all keep trying to make life something easy, that it happens all the time, when it's obviously it doesn't. We have like a perfect example on this planet. This planet is like the ultimate junkyard planet. It has every fucking possible chemical combination you could imagine being on a planet. It's almost an ideal planet in the sense that life has been on it for a long time, and it's created billions of compounds have been created in living things. So the chemistry is insanely complicated and rich. And so if there's any place in the universe where life could arise, it would be right here. And it doesn't happen. There's no competing DNA molecule, not one little thing out of place. There's only one DNA molecule that only worked one time and here it is, a perfect junkyard. It's got fenders, it's got steering wheels, it's got motors, it's got wheels, it's got everything. And no car pops out, no new car. And everybody keeps thinking life just happens. Well, if it just happens, why isn't it happening? Why isn't there a cave somewhere, where some new DNA molecule arises, a new piece of green slime that has a different DNA combination? Not one single competing version of life. So how the fuck can people think it's easy? It happens all the time. All you need to do is throw a glass of water on Mars and throw a match at it, and it'll catch on life, and a tree will pop up. I mean, people are so unrealistic. Yeah, just delusional is what they are. But anyway, let's see. Parallax is the most accurate method, but it only works for closer stars, right? So that's basically where you're taking two different images, right? I mean, you're seeing something from two different points of view, and then you can tell that it's, where it is because you're making a triangle or something. I just can't remember exactly how that works. But anyway, but yeah, it's really hard to be certain about what any of this shit is. And they're all so certain. We proved that it can't be dark matter; it has to be mun matter, or some, all the things they're saying because of these large galaxies they saw. They don't really know how large they are. They just know how bright they are. They're still just bright galaxies, not necessarily large galaxies. But anyway. Is the only astronomer, yeah, I like that, I know of that doesn't think that life happens easy and thinks it's entirely possible we are alone. Yeah, I think it's entirely probable if you go through all the one-time events that are necessary to get anywhere close to something we would really call alive in the brain way, right? So the brain thing is almost like way out of reach. And even getting to a paramecium requires you to do all these one-time events. So yeah, not likely. But anyway, I mean, I've been talking, I have pushed this subject over the years, and it's just people just don't want to hear it. They just they just keep pretending because it happened here, it happens everywhere. If it happened once, it has to happen twice, or 17 times, or whatever, 46 times. No, it doesn't. Even in an infinite universe, there's an infinite number of combinations, and in those infinite number of combinations, there's a whole bunch of them that haven't happened yet because the infinity isn't done yet. And so it hasn't made that combination yet. So you can have a chocolate donut. Well, I could go through the example where, okay, chocolate donut in between two layers of masking tape, right? I mean, where's that combination in the universe? Does that combination come up anywhere? Like, is there any place in the universe besides right here where there's two rolls of masking tape with a chocolate donut? And then all I have to do is see with a Smurf shoved, a little plastic Smurf shoved inside of the chocolate donut. Now, is there any place in the universe where there's two rolls of masking tape, a chocolate donut, and a Smurf shoved in the middle? I don't think so. And so all I'm arguing is life is pretty much two rolls of masking tape with a chocolate donut and a Smurf shoved in the middle. It's just not something that happens. It doesn't just poof. Anyway. Opposite sides of the sun. Okay, I think I was related to something. Probably the viewing from 2 points. Anyway, there's a mathematical model called the who cares model used to estimate how rare, far away alien life might be. Yeah, so what? That's just doing the Carl Sagan's Drake equation. Those are made up numbers. Nobody takes the game seriously of figuring that kind of crap out, because if they did, again, they'd have to concede all the animals, the only brains that exist are brains controlled by neurons, electricity. So the only real functioning brain has to have a neuron. You get it? And so there's no other model in all the history of life on Earth. So you're talking about like brains have been around for like 300 million years. So in 300 million years, there wasn't a single other kind of electrical cell besides the same neurons that are in your head and every other organism that has a brain. No other kind of thinking organ arose. In 300 million years, even though the planet is covered with living things, it seems pretty unrealistic that you could say, oh, that happens all the time. Brain creation. It obviously, the fucking elemental cell that makes it possible to make a brain doesn't even happen all the time, let alone organizing the brain into something that perceives itself as being conscious and has sensations. Even to get to a knee jerk, you need an almost impossible event that is 300 million years of evolution, and it only happens once just to get to a knee jerk. All right, there's a mathematical. Okay, so yes, same comment, nothing new. We hit 20. Holy shit. All right, so I would have bet against it. So I would have lost the bet. So you all could have made some big money, if YouTube allowed betting. But anyway, so I can just consider myself richer and say I did okay tonight because I didn't lose money. Yeah, so it feels good not to lose money. I still want to do the pool thing of like in what order will I eventually get people to concede that Gary was right about all this physics crap? That there's no kinetic energy formula, that light isn't bent twice as much by gravity, that photons are not wavetons. So all of those arguments, and I just, in hindsight, I would really love to go to the future and just see how the dominoes fall. Where will Piro be when he finally admits, oh yeah, Gary was right? Where will all these people be? And, like the Veritasiums and these other arrogant douchebags. I just love to be able to be alive and witness them conceding that they've been full of shit and they were outdone by a little raggy nobody. Yeah. I just wish I could survive long enough to see the day. I mean, it's a very vain and self-centered kind of wish, but it exists. I wish my father would have been alive to see the day. It just would have been fun. It would have been better than going to Disney World. It's a way to send your paper to a university. They won't peer review. I already tried. They just won't. The peer reviewers are dumber than the scientists, so they have no clue what you're talking about. And they just dismiss it. Oh, you don't believe in our theory? Well, fuck you. You can't publish here. It's like sending an evolution paper to the Catholic Church. Is there any real point? They're peer review by religious, fascist, tyrannistic inquisitioners. Like I should go ahead and send my paper to the Inquisition. My paper on how God doesn't exist. And again, the argument's so simple. It's the same argument people were making 300 years ago. Newton and his advocates pointed out that a lever proves the theory to be shit. An object as simple as a lever proves it can't be the truth. They made the argument 300 years ago, and here I have to remake it 300 years later, 400 years later. I mean, it's too stupid. Well, it's worse than just being tied to corporations. They're tied to public funding, frankly, because all the scientific research is done through the universities. All of the space program, all of it's tied to all these universities. They all get contracts out of the deal. And so they all have to promote this fake science because there's so much money in it. I mean, the thing that's funny to me is that companies like Google, well, Google's pretty stupid, but even all these companies are all investing in trying to make a quantum computer, and you're just saying they don't have any advisors that just point out to them that the whole idea is silly. What do you mean a qubit? What do you mean it knows the answer, but it doesn't have to do the calculation? What the fuck are you talking about? It can do 17 calculations at once. What do you mean it can do that? It can't do that. It's only got 2 arms and legs like the rest of us. It's just too stupid. I mean, how can a bit do more than one thing at a time? I mean, it's too stupid. I mean, the premise is so illogical. Parapologic. Yes. Well, I really appreciate you doing your best to try to get the assholes to actually stay on the subject and address the actual subject and all of that crap. So I really do appreciate the effort you put in. I mean, I have to thank a few people. I mean, a few people have tried on message boards to get people to argue the subject, and all they do is the ad hominem name calling. You're a flat earther bullshit. They just dismiss without dealing with the facts. And I was surprised just because I didn't think this would be the hard part, right? See, the hard part's coming up with the theory that works. That's supposed to be the hard part, is doing the Einstein thing of actually coming up with a theory that works. I didn't think the hard part would be getting them to believe in something that's so 2 + 2 simple. I mean, you're basically just arguing, a simple argument. I mean, they basically made a mistake years ago. They put a 2 and they wrote it funny, and so it looked like a 3, and then they ended up thinking that 2 + 3 = 4. And it was just stupid. They made a stupid mistake. And it's like there shouldn't be all of this to try to just say, no, come on, you can see it's supposed to be a 2, you fuckhead. Come on. And I thought smart people would be like, oh, yeah, of course. Hey, you're right. Gee, yeah, we did make a mistake, didn't we? Oh, okay, we'll fix that. But no, they're just as crazy as the religious kooks. They can't modify a word of their Bible. They have to somehow keep every word and say every word is holy, and that's all obviously shit. Smear blood on your doorstep. That'll solve your problems. That's really God's plan. You need to write a better God than that, frankly. It's hard to have any confidence in a God whose advice is smear lamb's blood on your door. I really just can't have any confidence in that. Okay, once it's pointed out, it's really, really obvious that the kinetic energy formula is wrong and stupid. It's bizarre and disturbing that others can't allow themselves to just consider it as for a minute. Yeah, I mean, especially when you just say, look at all the evidence that's missing. We don't have one single experiment showing the 5-ton train going 10 miles an hour producing twice as much energy as the 10-ton train going 5 miles an hour. So nothing showing anything like that. And then we have no experimental evidence showing that it takes twice as much gasoline to go 60 miles an hour. I mean, 4 times as much gasoline to go 60 miles an hour than 30 miles an hour. And every one of you have probably noticed that can't possibly be true, right? It's not possible that you actually save more gas by going faster than going slower. That there's less friction, lots of things that happen that it's a huge improvement in your gas mileage. Yeah. And people still can't concede that it really makes no sense. I mean, race car drivers know it doesn't take 4 times more fuel to go twice as fast. And a lever is just the slam dunker. I mean, levers have been around for thousands of years. These idiots think they work completely different, that they can make free energy with one. Well, anyway, I've already done all these arguments, so I won't do them again, but damn. I thought today's video was a really good one. So I actually put it on the debate page, in a new section. Just because I did like the 3 subjects, and I think I hit them pretty hard and pretty well. So it's on the Draft Physics website. Today's video, comments video. So yeah, just these arguments are so decisive. It's just time for people to let it go. Just concede. You don't have any good reason to believe the crap you believe. They say so. That's really bad. I mean, frankly, you really should know, you're the human race. This is the biggest liability, that this is something that's ruined more of civilization than anything else. The they say so syndrome, this idea that you can't step out of the tyranny of retarded and stupid ideas, and that somehow it's a tradition. Being stupid is part of our tradition. Wow, an hour and a half. I didn't think I'd stay that long. All right, so this will be the 10-minute warning thing. So if you got anything to say, subscribe. Yeah, for 1 minute. And then you can type something, and then you can unsubscribe. It'll be fun. I have to admit that I'm a little surprised that there hasn't been any troll comments yet. I mean, it's surprised. I mean, I figured it was just going to be all trolly crap. It's pretty good. Somehow the quality people have landed here, and it's all almost pleasant. Aged out. Oh, they're getting stronger. You can't kill scum. There's no Clorox strong enough to wipe the scum out. They're too greasy and fat covered. It's like a sludge and a sticky. It's like old rancid oil. Like old rancid oil is like one of the worst things to get off of anything. This is like nothing dissolves it. And that's what these scums are made out of. Anyway, you are going to make any more videos on, what does that say? Whatever the fuck that is. What the fuck is all that crap? Oh, the acoustic guy. Well, whatever. This, just because, I found a video of a kid talking physics, right? And he was full of shit, but he was really, well, he's one of those really gifted kids. He was probably like, jumped 4 grades in high school or some kind of shit. I mean, he was really, really had a great brain going for him, but he was nuts, and he killed himself. And he didn't kill himself in the way like you'd think, like he had some deep, hard miseries. He killed himself to prove he's right about his theory of immortality or something. It was like kind of a nutty theory of killing yourself. Now, I'm sure that was partly just excuses, and he was quite miserable. But, it's one of those examples where you're almost like, Jesus Christ, this, of all the people who kill themselves, this isn't the kind of human being we have to get rid of on Earth, right? I mean, it's got a brain, it's engaged, it's doing shit. We don't need to, we need these assets. And so I commented on that, but I didn't have any relationship or association. So what's, what is, why make a reference to it? No, there's no other videos for me to respond to in the sense that his physics was crap. It was all wooey, Ken Wheeler swirly burly crap. So it didn't have much relevance. I was just surprised, disheartened, I guess, in a way. That it's like the people who are miserable and to a tolerable extent should really try, okay, to stay in the game, to try to improve things for the future. They really should be trying to invest in their future security. That is, their future not waking up on planet Earth again, and opening your eyes for the first time and seeing, preposterous fat pig as your mommy, some kind of crap like that. I mean, we shouldn't have to, open our eyes and say, oh no, this is going to be another nightmare. Oh, fuck. No. Let's see. Also, it's funny to see how, oh, thou art that. Yes, with the little soul patches. And Professor Anton are still talking crap. Yeah, it's even deeper crap in a way, right? I mean, it's well, Professor Anton is just a hypocrite because he's basically trying to talk out of both sides. So he's saying, "Oh yeah, nature's horrible, but there's no good reason to pay any attention to that," or some kind of crap like that. I mean, it's too silly, that because we can, sing a song and go, and have a happy feeling, that somehow it doesn't matter how bad the rest of it is, right? You could have 17 million world wars, but if you can all stoically stick your flag in the skulls and salute, and sing a song, it's all okay. It doesn't matter how bad it is. It doesn't matter how much it costs. It's got to be worth it, right? Didn't God say so? I mean, it's almost like that. But yeah, the thou art that thing. He is so full of. I mean, you're listening. You're just like, why are you reading this 100-year-old babble? About all this jibber jabber word soup nonsense. About how there's meaning in the meaningness. If you look at the word meaning, it has mean in it, but it has. wait, no, you know what I mean. I mean, they just do this contriving of all this, all this deepness. I mean, it's just so fucking trivial and silly. We're profoundly doing something. They're profoundly looking at their own anus with a magnifying glass. I mean, it's just look at the mountains. Oh no, it makes me think of skiing in Austria. I mean, what are you talking about? So anyway, let's see, how close are we to the 10-minute mark? Probably getting close. So, all right, really wasn't bad for a first edition, frankly. So I may do this again. Yeah, I might. But I'll try to have more of it. Yeah, it's no good having agendas, really. See, we're up to 24 now. I would have never guessed we could get to 24. So it's, that's pretty amazing. It's not amazing. Okay. That's overdoing. It does surprise me a little bit. Okay. Because frankly, my videos sometimes I would get 24 views. It is kind of funny. And they're chock full of good content and science and shit. This is just kind of blah, 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 blah. A lot of waste in this video. Yeah, well, I want to do more interacting. I'd like to be able to have conversations with people about physics, but no one wants to do that, which is just so irritating. where we could just get to the, what is it that's hanging you? Just take the average person and say, what is it about their silly story that compels you to say, I must believe in it? Why is the Bohr model of the atom the thing? And there can't be any other model. Nobody could ever think of any other way that electrons and protons could be arranged. And we must believe what he thought. Why? Especially when he said such wacky shit. Like, there is no reality. What the fuck? I'm sitting here right in the middle of it. He's telling me there's no reality. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm sitting here doing it right now. What the fuck are you talking? Oh, there's no universe. Fuck. It's just too stupid. Well, I'd rather have new people than the old Stickham days, frankly. Stickham participants were kind of lame, frankly. But anyway, and I'm so much more knowledgeable now. On the subject of physics, anyway. I mean, I'm just so fucking goddamn. I know it all. I know so much more than I knew 10 years ago. That, frankly, I just can't even have the same. There's nobody that can really compete with me anymore. I'm a Jedi kind of thing. Physics Jedi. Okay, the depth of field with the microscope was explained well. Yes, of course, that was a whole nother video where this, he's making such a fundamental error, right? I mean, it's a nice idea using your optics and your microscope and all this kind of stuff, but it was kind of funny that he's not even getting the basic principle that you can't create constructive and destructive interference unless you have a separation, you have an opening that's a certain width. And if it's, if you don't have that opening, there's no way you could ever create constructive and destructive. So if you're seeing bars, it can't be for the same reason. And he can't get that simple point. But whatever. I mean, people can't get, people are really difficult to communicate with. That's what I've learned in 20 years on the internet. It's really hard to communicate with people. I seem to be quite genuine. I watch my videos and say, look, that's just the person trying to explain. I get it. He doesn't have any agenda. He's not selling anything. He's not even pretending. He's not even calling you, hey, YouTubers, how you doing? I love you. He's not doing anything fake or phony. He's just trying to explain what he sees. And generally speaking, these humans react to that as if I'm, I'm carrying some kind of, like I'm just waiting to run up behind you and stab you in the back or something. I mean, it's crazy. All right, so I guess I'll go. So, appreciate the participation, people. Very good. Maybe you should think of little sentences to write, and then you could save up a bunch of them. So when I show up the next time, you'll have a whole bunch of little sentences all ready, and such. And then it'll all look like it's a real room and people are participating and interested, and we could just fake the whole thing. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, it wasn't that bad. I really thought I had such a despise for this, after all the other rooms and the trolls and the crap. And I just really hated the whole idea of a live room. And so I never thought I'd ever hit this button again. But I saw it, YouTube did it had this thing and I said, oh, that still works with a webcam. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll do it. So anyway. So again, thank you and good night and such. And, have a tolerable, good luck, whatever that's worth. Good luck and such. Yeah. That fixes everything, right? If I say good luck, that makes everything all okay. No, probably not. But anyway, that's the best I can do. I could probably do better, but I really don't want to work at it. Okay, you understand? I mean, I have so much to do, and I really just don't have time. I got a bunch of donuts I got to shove Smurfs into. I got so much to do. I just really can't waste too much time worrying about whether I, properly, whatever, proper solicitation. Is that what they call it? I don't know. They call the thing at the end of the, thank you very much and such. Yeah, whatever that is. So anyway, thank you very much and such. Until the next time. I will see you then. Blah, 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 blah. And I'll maybe figure out how to switch my video the other fucking way. Or not. Okay, so I think that's it. I don't know. Oh, I hit the thing called end stream. Oh, okay. That is the end. All right, so I'm going to do that now. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see, your stream will stop immediately and you will no longer be live. Well, I thought if I hit end stream, that would have done it already. I have to end it twice. God damn it. All right, so that's nice, I guess, that they don't, just in case you got fat fingers and you hit the button wrong. Okay, so they give you a little protection against ending prematurely. So I have to hit it again. All right, so another 5, 4, 3, 2,